you ever felt that weight pressing on your mind, like a stone of guilt sitting on your chest? Maybe it was something you said in the heat of the moment, or something you did without thinking. And now, every time it comes back to your memory, that guilt only seems to grow. Maybe it was an argument with someone you love. Maybe it was a careless action that hurt someone. Or worse, maybe you didn't even realize how much it affected them until they started pulling away. And what if I told you that most people only realize the damage they've done when it's already too late? When the friendship has turned cold, when the love has already walked away, when the bond that once seemed unbreakable finally shatters, and what's left? Words never spoken, gestures never made. But it doesn't have to be that way. Time may be working against you, but you still have a chance. Here's the problem. Most people don't take that chance. Instead of facing the issue, they sweep it under the rug. They hope time will fix everything. But here's the truth. Time doesn't heal all wounds. Sometimes, it just makes the distance grow. And the bigger the distance, the harder it gets to take the first step. That's why you need to listen closely. Because what I'm about to tell you could change the way you deal with your mistakes forever. I've been there. I know exactly what it feels like to carry that kind of guilt. And that's why I made this video. Because I don't want you to go through what I went through. But before I tell you what happened and the lesson I learned, you need to understand one very important thing. What's truly terrifying about making a mistake with someone isn't the mistake itself. It's the illusion that you'll always have time to fix it. Throughout my life, I've seen friendships fall apart, relationships end, families break. Not because people hated each other, but because no one had the courage to take that first step toward healing. It's a story that repeats itself constantly. Two people argue. One says something hurtful. Then comes the silence, the waiting, the pride. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and one day, they realize the only thing left between them is the distance. How many people spend their whole lives waiting for the other person to make the first move? How many relationships die simply because no one had the courage to say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong"? And as I'm saying this, you're probably already thinking of someone in your life that this reminds you of. So let me tell you the real issue behind all of this, because it's not just about waiting. It's not just about saying sorry. The truth is, most people don't want to fix their mistakes. That's right. It's not about time. It's not about not knowing what to say. It's about pride. Most people would rather lose someone than face the discomfort of admitting they were wrong. They'd rather cling to their pride than take the first step. And pride is dangerous. It convinces you that apologizing makes you weak. That saying sorry is giving in. That if the other person messed up too, you shouldn't be the one to go first. And just like that, both sides drift further and further apart, until one day, there's nothing left, just silence. But what makes this even worse is the false feeling that everything's fine. Human beings have a powerful defense mechanism called emotional denial. Your brain downplays the pain just so you can keep going. You tell yourself things like, "It wasn't that bad." If they really cared, they'd reach out first. "I didn't do anything wrong." If they were hurt, that's on them. That's where you're fooling yourself, because the pain doesn't go away. It just hides. You move on, you focus on work, distract yourself. But one day it hits you, like a punch to the gut. Maybe it's an old photo, a familiar place, or just hearing that person's name. And in that instant, Everything you thought you had buried comes flooding back. Regret hits like a tidal wave, and suddenly, you realize something awful. It might already be too late. Time doesn't forgive. It takes people away. It changes feelings. It erases chances, and you're left behind, carrying a weight you could have set down, if only you had acted sooner. This happens every single day. Marriages end like this. Lifelong friendships fade. Families fall apart. And the worst part? It might be happening to you right now, and you don't even realize it. So ask yourself, how many important people have you already lost, just because you didn't have the courage to take that first step? Now, before you think this is all just theory, let me tell you something personal. I'm not speaking from imagination. This happened to me, and it might be exactly what's happening to you right now. I lost someone incredibly important to me because I let pride take the wheel. I thought, I'll fix it later. But by the time I tried, there was nothing left to fix. This still weighs heavy on my heart, and I'll tell you exactly what happened. I had a friend who was like a brother to me. We grew up together, shared everything. It was the kind of bond you think will last forever. Then one day, something stupid happened, a dumb argument. Looking back, it meant nothing. But in the moment, our pride exploded. I said something I shouldn't have, something impulsive. He fired back, and in just a few minutes, years of friendship began to crack. Here's the biggest mistake I made. I waited. I waited for him to talk to me first. Waited for time to fix things. Waited for the anger to pass. I just waited. But guess what? Time fixed nothing. It only made the distance grow. Days turned into weeks. Weeks into months. My friend, my brother, slowly faded from my life. We stopped talking. Stopped seeing each other. Stopped sharing anything. And then, one day, he was gone. Moved to another country, just like that. No goodbye. No chance to make things right. That's when I learned a painful truth. Time can take people out of your life. For good. I remember staring at my phone thinking, should I send a message? But it already felt too late. What would I even say? Sorry I never reached out sooner. It felt empty, hollow. Time had stolen my chance to make it right. Then one day, I saw a photo of him online, surrounded by new people, living a new life. That was when the regret crushed me. Because in the end, our friendship didn't die because of the argument. It died because I didn't do anything to save it. And that made me wonder, how many people go through this without even realizing it? How many people are losing someone right now just because they're waiting for the right time to reach out? I don't want that to happen to you. I learned this lesson the hard way, and now I know exactly what I should have done. So if you're in a similar place right now, listen carefully, because second chances aren't guaranteed, and you might have already lost enough time. But here's the good news. Even if that person isn't in your life right now, you still have a chance. You can still turn things around, but you have to do it the right way. Because a lot of people try to fix things the worst way possible, with half-hearted apologies, by pretending nothing happened. So let me give you a simple, clear, step-by-step guide to give you the best shot at rebuilding that connection. Step 1. Stop waiting for the right time. Waiting is the worst thing you can do. There's no perfect moment to apologize. Time won't bring them back. You have to make the first move. You might be thinking, I'll wait until things calm down. But most of the time, what really happens is that the dust settles and buries the relationship for good. If you want to fix this, the right time is now. Step 2. Don't justify, just take responsibility. A lot of people ruin their apologies by trying to defend themselves. I only did it because you hurt me too. I didn't mean it. You overreacted. I was just angry. You should understand. That's not an apology. That's manipulation. And the other person can feel it. The right way to do it is simple. Admit the mistake and express genuine regret. I realize I made a mistake, and I want to sincerely apologize. I don't expect you to forgive me right away, but I needed to say this. No excuses, just honesty. Step 3. Be ready not to be forgiven right away. Saying sorry doesn't mean you'll be welcomed back immediately. And you know what? That's okay. Be humble enough to accept that the other person needs time to process. You can't rush forgiveness. But believe me, just taking that first step already changes everything. Even if they don't show it now, the fact that you owned up to your mistake plants a seed. And over time, that seed might grow into a bridge between you. Step 4. Show change through actions, not just words. Words aren't always enough. If you truly want to rebuild the bond, your actions have to show that you've changed. Don't just say sorry and go back to how things were. Prove you've learned from your mistake. Be more present. Be more respectful. Show that you care, not by talking, but by doing. In the end, people trust what you do way more than what you say. So now the question is, what are you going to do? You can keep putting it off, keep pretending nothing happened, or you can act now and stop that regret from growing inside you. People may not forget what happened, but they always remember who had the courage to try to make things right. And most of the time, just taking the first step changes everything. Even if it doesn't happen right away. Even if the response isn't what you hoped for. But trust me, a sincere apology can open doors you never imagined. And if you decide to do nothing, I just hope you don't end up living with the regret of never even trying. Because that's a pain you don't want to carry for the rest of your life. And if you've made it this far into the video, it means one thing. Deep down, you already know it's time to act. But here's something even more important. What you've learned today can help fix a mistake. But what's truly life-changing is learning how to avoid these mistakes in the future. Because most relationships fall into destructive patterns. The same mistakes, the same behaviors, the same cycle, over and over again. And if you don't catch it now, you'll keep repeating it and hurting people you care about all over again. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk about in the next video. So before you go, subscribe so you don't miss it. Hit the bell so you're notified when it drops. Vote in the community tab poll about this video. And tell me in the comments, have you ever regretted not acting sooner? Because now is your moment of choice. You can move on like nothing happened, or you can do something right now and make sure that one day you'll look back and say, I'm glad I did the right thing. The choice is yours, and time is running.